Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, there are certain things in this world that are a complete waste of money. Things don't provide you any value. And although some people, to be honest, most people, are perfectly fine with wasting their hard-earned money, El Agustin ain't. El Agustin don't tolerate it. And so in this video, I want to share 15 things that you should never waste your money on. And the first thing is cable TV. So right now, I'm in the process of moving into my new apartment. I signed the lease yesterday, but for right now, I am currently at La Casa de Mama de Agustin. I'm in my mom's house in the game room upstairs, if you can't tell by the Lego set behind me. But this past week or so, I've been spending a lot of time with none other than the baby boomers. And one crazy thing that I've learned about baby boomers this past week is that many of them still watch cable TV. And if you're under 50 years old, it's probably hard to believe that people are still watching cable nowadays because one, there's nothing good on cable, and two, cable is extremely expensive. I mean, cable can cost upwards of $100 a month. A little side story, about a month ago I was at the beach with my family, and in our small beach house there was only cable TV, there was no Netflix, and I had to explain to my 8-year-old nephew what cable TV was. He had never heard of it before. It made me feel a little bit old. But in 2024, nobody should be wasting their money on cable TV, and the baby boomers should stop living in the past. Now the second thing is internet modem subscriptions. To continue on this subject of crazy things the baby boomers do, many of them voluntarily choose to rent their modem and router from the internet company, which can cost up to $15 a month. But to be honest, it's not their fault. You see, baby boomers don't know any better. They don't really understand how technology works. Most of them only know how to verbally ask questions to their phone and send gifts. And let me tell you something, it gets really old really fast. And for all the baby boomers out there that are renting their modem and router, let me explain a much cheaper alternative. Instead of paying $15 a month to rent the internet company's router, instead go to Amazon or Best Buy and buy your own for less than $100. And then get your children or your grandchildren to set it up for you. Nobody should be wasting money renting a modem router from the internet company. I listed a cheap one in the description that you can buy that will work well. Now the third thing is anything inside of a gas station. Now, if you are among the people who still drive a gas-powered car, you've probably had to deal with this light coming on in your car, meaning you need to fill up your gas. And where do you go when you need gas? Well, the gas station, of course. Now, the interesting thing about the gas station is that everything you need is located outside of the gas station. Everything inside the gas station is completely unnecessary, like candy, drinks, and cigarettes. People waste so much money buying overpriced items inside the gas station. You should never waste any of your money buying something inside of the gas station unless you're paying for gas in cash. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now the fourth thing is the lottery. One of my favorite YouTubers is Johnny Harris. In one extremely interesting video he made was about the lottery called The Scam That No One Sees. And it's a great documentary that explains why we have the lottery and who benefits from having a lottery. And to put it short, the person who benefits the most from the lottery is the government. Outside of collecting taxes, the lottery is another way for the government to collect money. And sadly, most of the people who play the lottery are lower income people who waste so much money thinking that scratching a ticket will one day change their life. But you are never gonna win the lottery, and you shouldn't waste a single dollar buying a lottery ticket. That is, of course, unless the Powerball is over $1 billion. It's not worth it if all you're gonna win is $100 million. Now the next thing is sugary drinks. Now recently, some of us just celebrated Christmas, and I'm sure you already know this, but every Christmas night, a man flies around the world in his sleigh led by reindeers and delivers presents to the good children and coal to the bad children. And he does it all in one night, solely fueled by cookies and milk. It truly is a Christmas miracle. And although there's nothing weird about that, one weird fact about Santa is that the modern image of Santa Claus was created by Coca-Cola. Before Coca-Cola blessed the world with its sugary drinks, Santa Claus dressed a little bit differently. He was wearing more of a green color. But anyways, another thing that you should never waste your money on is sugary drinks, like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Sunny Delight. Because these things are bad for your health and they're just a complete waste of money. You should never waste your money on these things. Now the next thing is chips. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the price of a bag of chips is getting out of control. I mean, the price of a bag of party-sized Doritos is approaching $5. It's ridiculous. I have stopped buying chips because they're just getting too expensive, except for Lay's stacks that remain under $2. But chips are just too expensive nowadays, and you should never waste your money on chips again. Now, the seventh thing that you should never waste your money on is Apple products. Now, speaking of overpriced food, let's talk about Apple products. I'm gonna give it to you straight, ladies and gentlemen. I think that Apple is the most obnoxious brand in the world. And I understand that that might trigger some of you because you could be watching this on an Apple product right now. And you might think just because you're watching my videos, I should be kissing your ass, but that ain't how it works here. In this channel, I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But the reason I think that Apple products are so obnoxious is because you need special cords to use them. They have a closed ecosystem, and you have to pay higher prices. The truth about Apple is that Apple is just the Gucci of tech. You should never waste your money on Apple products. All you're getting from Apple is that smug feeling that just because you have an Apple on the back of your phone, you're better than other people. But you're not. You just got ripped off and you got locked in their ecosystem. Now, the eighth thing that you should never waste your money on is single-serving products. More and more food companies are offering their products in much smaller packaging for one single serving, like single serving bags of chips, to-go peanut butter, or single serving Chef Boyardee ravioli. And I don't know why, but for some reason in our capitalist system, when something is smaller, it ends up costing more money. For example, a tub of Jif peanut butter costs 17.4 cents an ounce, but a single serving Jif cup costs 26.2 cents an ounce. And what that basically means is that you're wasting a lot of money when you buy these single-serving products. You're getting less bang for your buck. And so the lesson to be learned in this is just buy the largest jar of Jif peanut butter and put it in small tubs yourself. It's an easy thing to do. Trust me, I'm a peanut butter fanatic. But don't waste your money on these single-serving products. Now, the ninth thing is dryer sheets. So I think that we've spoken enough about food at this point. So the next thing I want to talk about is something I genuinely have no idea what the point of them is. But it seems like every house has them. And of course I'm talking about dryer sheets. What is the point of dryer sheets, ladies and gentlemen? I think that nobody watching this video can answer that question. I've even heard the folks over at NASA can't figure out the use of dryer sheets. I don't use dryer sheets, and believe it or not, my clothes still come out clean and dry. You should never waste your money on dryer sheets because there's no point of them. Now, the next thing is storage units. I don't like to be a divisive YouTuber, but I like to talk about things that unite us all. Because I think the world is just oversaturated with negativity. And something that unites us as Americans, no matter where you're from, whether that's a red state or a blue state, or whether you have this clown running your state or this clown. We all have three things in common. We love our country, we love our family, and we love our storage units. Country, family, storage units in that order. That was a Jim Gaffigan joke. I won't take credit for that. But no matter who you are, there is a storage unit for you. For the frugal people, we have the outdoor storage units. For the privileged few, we have the indoor climate-controlled storage units. And for the vagabonds, we got the traveling storage units. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Just like dryer sheets, storage units are a complete waste of money. You should never waste your money on them. And if you're a logical person, you should understand that. Now, the next load of bullshit is financial advisors. One thing that's important to say when you talk about money on YouTube is I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Because once you say that, you're legally cleared and you can talk about any crazy thing you want. But the irony of the advice of financial advisors is that you might be better off not listening to it because your interest and the interest of a financial advisor don't align. Your interests are to get as big of a return as possible and to make your future self comfortable, whereas the interest of the financial advisor is to get commission and fees from their client. The truth about money is that nobody is going to take better care of your money than you. Speak the truth, Ronald.
Not me, not Hermione, you.
Mr. Weasley, speaking the truth. But you do not need a financial advisor to make money in the market. All you need to do is have an emergency fund, invest in index funds, and hold for the long term. And you know, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I was a financial advisor, I probably wouldn't tell you to do that because it wouldn't make me any money. Never waste your money on financial advisors. You can do everything yourself. Now, the 12th thing is bank fees. Since the release of the internet, banks have got a lot more competitive because before the internet, most banks had ATM fees, maintenance fees, and overdraft fees. But nowadays, there are so many online banks that have gotten rid of all of those fees. A bank should never charge you to hold your money. And if they are charging you, you should leave that bank and switch to a bank with no fees. Never waste your money on bank fees. Now, the 13th thing is rental car insurance. Now, this is a very practical tip that most people don't know. But if you've ever rented a car before, they will ask you if you want to purchase their rental car insurance, which is a lot of money. However, if you have a credit card, you probably have rental car insurance. For example, I have an American Express credit card, and with it comes free rental car insurance. So if I get in a wreck, then the credit card company will pay for it at no cost to me. And if you travel a lot, consider getting a credit card with rental car insurance because paying for the insurance is just a complete waste of money. Now, the 14th thing is unlimited data. Most big cell phone companies like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile default their plans to unlimited data. But most people do not need unlimited data. Most people would probably do fine with under 5 gigs of data. And if you switch to Mint Mobile, you can get a much cheaper plan with 5 gigs of data. The only places you really use data are when you're in your car and you're walking around town. Everywhere else has Wi-Fi, and so you shouldn't waste your money getting unlimited data and using all this data that you don't end up using. Now, the final thing that you should never waste your money on is accountants for simple taxes. Now, tax season is approaching, and Uncle Sam is getting ready to tell everyone, pay up. And as we approach tax season, many people will get an accountant to do their taxes and might pay upwards of $250. And if your income is complex, then getting an accountant is probably a good idea. I mean, this is the first year that I hired an accountant to do my taxes because my income is getting much more complex. But most people with simple W-2 jobs could probably do their taxes for free or very cheap using TurboTax. Minus this year, I've always just done my taxes myself using TurboTax. And if your taxes are very simple, you might want to consider just doing it yourself rather than wasting a bunch of money with an accountant. And those are the 15 things that you should never waste your money on. Now I'm going to go and play some games. And with that, muchas gracias, que tenga un buen día. Nos vemos, chicos.